ready for Game 3 of this I-94 rivalry between the Milwaukee Brewers and the Chicago Cubs. The Brewers have already secured their 5th straight series win. They're going for the series sweep here this afternoon. Good evening, everyone. Sophia Minner here at Miller Park, and today is one of the significant days across the baseball calendar as we celebrate the life and the legacy on Roberto Clemente Day, celebrating one of the all-time greats in the game of baseball who tragically passed away on New Year's Eve in 1972 at the age of 38, delivering supplies to Nicaragua after an earthquake. Now, Roberto Clemente, known as the Great One, a 15-time All-Star, a 12-time Gold Glove Award winner, a Hall of Famer as well, and the Roberto Clemente Award celebrates the players on and off the field who demonstrate his responsibility of involvement in the community and philanthropy. This nominee, Corey Knebel for the Brewers.
I mean, on and off the field for him, he was an important person to a lot of people, and I know my dad especially, he knew Roberto Clemente, watching him, and there was one thing that he had told me. He's like, this is, out of all the things I've done on and off the field, or on the field and in life, so this is one thing that he's most proud of, is seeing me nominated for this award, and it means a lot to him too. And I know my mom and my wife has helped me out a lot. She's involved a lot in everything, and she's what helps me out a lot too. Everything she does, and she gets so happy about it that it just kind of keeps good vibes at home.
Corey Knebel, this year's nominee for the Roberto Clemente Award. When we come back, we preview a phenomenal pitching matchup for the Brewers. It'll be Yoli Chacin making his 30th start of the season, his third against the Cubs. He'll be facing the lefty, Jose Quintana. We'll break it down next.
Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. Voted best, rated best, Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. By Miller Lite, great taste and only 96 calories. And by Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. With back-to-back Brewers wins, Milwaukee has tightened up this National League Central Division race. 3 games behind the Cubs to start play today, 4 in the loss column. Brewers still maintaining a game-and-a-half lead over third-place St. Louis, and those 2 teams, the Brewers and the Cardinals, make up the top 2 spots in the wild card race. Hi, everybody. Making our way towards first pitch. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. Joely Chacín will get the ball for the Brewers today. He has been fantastic. He'll match up against Jose Quintana. And for Chacín, this is start number 30. Signed a 2-year deal with the Brewers in the offseason, and he is cashing that in a big way this season.
Yeah, the most consistent guy the Brewers have had all season long. The Brewers, when he starts games, are 20-9, and he's been outstanding as of late. He's 8-2 in his last 11 starts, and his games against the Cubs have been absolutely terrific so far this year. He's made 2 starts, 2-0, has not allowed a run in 13 innings of work. The curveball, outstanding, really doing a good job keeping this Cub offense off balance. He'll quick pitch, he'll drop down, he'll mix it up pretty well. He's been the most consistent guy the Brewers have had all season long.
And Jose Quintana for the Chicago Cubs. He has been a Brewer killer in the past, but the Brewers finally got to him in his last start on August 14th. The Brewers put 5 earned runs on the board in 5 innings. Prior to that, Quintana, a sub-1 earned run average in his first 7 starts, and might have had the knockout punch against the Brewers last year in the pennant race. So, Chacín, Quintana, another big crowd filing in. Brewers go after another sweep. It's the Brewers and the Cubs, and it's coming up next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Loaded, and Yelich, a shot picked up by Bryant, steps on the bag at third, throw to first, not in time, and the Brewers win! Jam shot, backhanded by Russell, long throw, not in time, he gets away. Yelich, that's going to get down and go to the wall. Christian Yelich, 2 RBI double. Well, it has been a month since the Brewers' last sweep. That was against the Minnesota Twins. Wrapped up that sweep on July 4th. The Brewers are going after their 6th sweep of the season. They've got the Cubs in front of them tonight. And their best pitcher on the mound, Joely Chacín. Joe Maddon, now in year number 4, has that World Series title 2 years ago. And Joe Maddon and the Cubs, with a record of 81-57, still the best record in the National League, but the Brewers have been able to tighten it up a little bit. Just 4 back in the loss column to the Chicago Cubs. And Joe Maddon's batting order looks like this tonight. It's courtesy of Potawatomi. Daniel Murphy leads off, Javier Baez, then Anthony Rizzo. In the middle goes Ben Zobrist, who's in right field. Chris Bryant's at third, Kyle Schwarber in left, and the bottom 3, Wilson Contreras behind the plate, catching Jose Quintana, and Ian Happ hits 9th for the Cubs here this evening. 30th start of the season for Jhoulys Chacín. That is a badge of honor for any starting pitcher in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, very durable. His last time out against the Washington Nationals, 6 1/3, 6 hits, 1 run. In a victory, he is 8-2 in his last 11 starts. We've been talking about this all season long. The Brewers do a lot of winning when he's on the mound. 20-9 are the Brewers, with Chacín getting the starting nod this year. Let's check out the Brewers defense behind Chacín here tonight. You got Braun, Kane, and Perez. Perez and right. Christian Yelich gets a rare day off, so no Yelich in the starting lineup. Moustakas Arce on the left, Scope Aguilar on the right, and Eric Kratz once again behind home plate.
3rd straight start for Eric Kratz. Christian Yelich has started every game since July 4th, 54 consecutive games. And Craig Counsell choosing this day to give him off. The Brewers have a team off day tomorrow, so he'll get a couple of days to take a breath. Here we go. 3rd and final game of the series. Chacín's first pitch, down and away we go on a Wednesday night. September pennant race baseball. It has been a live wire act inside Miller Park here the last 2 days. Kind of a late arriving crowd here tonight. So much rain in the area. Hope you're staying safe out there. Ton of rain coming down starting about the noon hour here in Wisconsin and Milwaukee. And that front's supposed to pass on through at some point tonight, and then expecting terrific weather rest of the week. Knocked down by Aguilar, but trickles away from him, and Daniel Murphy will reach. It is a leadoff infield single for the Cubs, and that's the way the night begins for Chacín.
Yeah, Aguilar kind of hugging the line a little bit. He was able to knock it down but not keep it close. And he does get a piece of it. That ball could have whistled down in the corner, but Aguilar able to knock it down but not able to get the out. Daniel Murphy did not start yesterday.
He's been a great addition to the Cubs. Cubs have only lost 3 times since he arrived here to Chicago. Cubs are 10-3 with Murphy as part of their roster. Here's Javi Baez now, MVP candidate, and a wave and a miss, a first pitch breaking ball. Baez comes in with some gaudy statistics. 30 homers, 100 runs batted in. Has not homered or driven in a run in this series. Has an OPS of 903 to start play today. Baez leads the National League in RBIs, total bases, slugging percentage, and extra base hits.
He's having a terrific season, but to get ahead of him in the count, you don't have to throw him strikes. He will chase. Takes that big swing even with 2 strikes. You see Jesus Aguilar on that list, 3rd.
1 ball, 1 strike on Baez. And a big swing and a foul. 1-2 the count.
The 2-seam fastball has been a real good pitch for him in combination with the curveball. The curveball, he'll throw the slider. 4-seam, but the 2-seam has really been breaking well. It's really been moving extremely well to right-handed batters.
Chacín coming off 6 1/3 against the Nationals. His last time out, gave up 1 earned run in that game. 6 punch outs. Brewers won the game 4-1. Chacín won his 14th of the season. A record of 14-5. And a wave and a miss. Baez chased that big sweeping breaking ball, and a strikeout for Chacín. His first out is a K.
Yep, 81 miles an hour right there. More the slider that time. Didn't break like the curveball. There you see it right there. 81, and Baez way out in front, pulling his head, looking into left field.
4-man umpiring crew led by the crew chief Jerry Meals, who is behind the plate tonight. Ed Hickok's at first base. Gabe Morales the second base umpire, and then David Rackley, who had the plate last night, is manning third. One gone for Anthony Rizzo. Exited yesterday's game with a foot injury after fouling a pitch off his foot. He fouled a pitch off his right foot. He was hit by a pitch on the top of his left foot yesterday.
And taken out mid-game. The Brewers had a lead, ended up winning going away. So Rob Madden electing to give him some time off yesterday.
Shift is on for Rizzo. Hit a key 2-run home run in the opener on Labor Day. That put the Cubs ahead briefly. Rizzo now with 24 homers, 90 runs batted in. If you're going to slow him down, that's one way. As Wade Miley pitched a beautiful game yesterday, and he was missing a lot of bats. That one fouled right off his right foot, and ultimately Rizzo had to come out of the game.
And he gets some ice on it, back in there today.
Couldn't ask much more out of Wade Miley than what he produced yesterday. Miley just continues to be a terrific story for the Brewers this year. Signed as a non-roster invitee to spring training. Did not have a guaranteed job on a major league roster. Went 6 yesterday, 3 hits, 1 run. There's a strike. Chacin drops that breaking ball in, and the count at 2-1 on Rizzo.
Yeah, one of the most amazing statistics for Miley yesterday, no walks. He did not walk a batter. He was working ahead in the count just about the entire day. And that's going to be an important thing for Chacin. Keep this powerful Cub lineup on the defense.
Daniel Murphy, the runner at first, reached on an infield hit. And Rizzo lays off again. And another flutter ball in there for Chacin for strike 2.
That more the curveball right on the outside corner.
Chacin tantalizing with the breaking stuff, and it'll hit just about every number on that speed range from 78 miles an hour up to 85 miles an hour. Shift is on. 2-2 to Rizzo. 3-2 now. Rizzo started to employ the Joey Votto approach this season more with 2 strikes. Chokes up on the bat, shortens up the swing. He's got plenty of power to hit it out even when he's in 2-strike protect mode.
And it just gives him an ability to wait back a little bit longer, not commit to the swing with 2 strikes.
On the ground to Arcia. Chance to turn it here. Arcia will take it himself. And a 6-3 double play. Inning over. Cubs fail to score in the first. Now the Brewers are coming to bat. Lorenzo Cain back in the leadoff spot here tonight for the Brew Crew. Craig Counsell's batting order looks like this tonight, courtesy of Potawatomi. Cain, Perez, Aguilar at the top. Perez, first time he's in second this season. Ryan Braun, Jonathan Scope, Mike Moustakas in the middle. Eric Kratz, Orlando Arcia, and Yoli Chacin will round out the starting 9. That will face Jose Quintana. The Brewers are hoping for a repeat performance against Quintana from what they saw the last time at Wrigley Field back in August.
Yeah, they beat him 7-0. Before that, Quintana had the Brewers number. 27th start, 11-9, 421 earned run average for Jose Quintana. Making start number 9 against the Brewers. He's 4-2. He's 2-1 this year against Milwaukee.
Quintana, first offering to Lorenzo Cain, up and away. Lorenzo had one of his best nights at the plate that he has had in his career. Matched his best. He was on base 5 times. Had 1 hit and walked 4 times. And so his on base percentage coming into play tonight is a career best 404. Second best in the National League behind Joey Votto. Continues to get on at a very high clip.
Exactly what you want out of your leadoff hitter. Get on base. Get on base and take pitches. Have the pitcher work early in the game. That's Lorenzo Cain.
Cain's batting average at .310 is good enough for 3rd in the NL. And he leads the National League in batting average against left-handed pitchers. Cain hitting .389 against lefties. 2-1 on the ground. Murphy backhands it. And he'll make the play for out number 1.
Well, let's check out the Cubs defense. Very shoddy yesterday in the game. Cubs committed 3 errors in yesterday's game. You got Schwarber, Happen, Zobrist in the outfield. Bryan and Baez. Baez getting a start at shortstop. Murphy, Rizzo on the right side, and Wilson Contreras behind home plate. Contreras had a bit of a rough night last night behind home plate.
Yeah, he has not had a good series behind the plate. He's had passed balls in each of the first 2 games. Didn't start the opener on Monday, but had a big pass ball that allowed the Brewers to set up a game winner. Here's Hernan Perez. Finds himself in the 2 spot in the batting order for the first time this year. The ultra versatile Perez, who gets the call in right field tonight. Slow roller, foul, and quickly 0-2.
You got to do a little bit of lineup shuffle when you don't have Christian Yelich in the lineup. It's been a long time since he's had a day off, so you get tonight off, at least the beginning part of the game, and then the team day off tomorrow. That should have him ready to go the rest of the way.
Last time Yelich did not start a game was July 3rd. He's made starts every game since the 4th of July. Last time he has not played in a game was July 1st. 0-2 the count. Perez, a wave and a miss. Quintana with a strikeout. Made quick work of Hernan.
Yeah, let's check out our Pizza Ranch for the win. It's going to be raining curveballs tonight. I mean, we have Jose Quintana, who has a very good curveball. He'll throw the cutter. The fastball cutter into right-handers and a good changeup. You know, Chacin's going to throw the curveball, and finally got to Quintana last time out. He had a .92 earned run average career against the Brewers before giving up 5 runs in 5 innings and a 7-0 loss to the Brewers last time out at Wrigley Field.
An 11-game winner this year. His first victory came against the Brewers back on April 8th. Jesus Aguilar takes a ball down and in. Saw the numbers on Aguilar last inning. The 95 RBIs, 3rd best in the NL. Eugenio Suarez of the Reds, and the Cubs Baez tied at the top with 100.
22 games left for Aguilar to get to 100. Do that in 1 game.
2 balls, no strikes. It's a shot, and that's by Murphy. Jesus Aguilar reaches with 2 outs in this first inning. A single for Aguilar, and the Brewers have a man on for Ryan Braun.
Yeah, a lot of fastballs so far for Quintana, maybe changing it up a little bit after that rough outing against Milwaukee at Wrigley. And the changeup curveball combination has been very successful, but that 2-0 fastball smoked by Aguilar.
Left the bat at 107 miles per hour. And a base hit for Aguilar extends the inning for Ryan Braun. Braun with 2 hits last night. Was 2 for 5 in the Brewers win last night. Brewers were a runaway train yesterday. They scored 11 runs on 11 hits. The first 7 runs they scored were without benefit of a hit. They had a 3-run 6, added 3 more in the 7th, 2 more in the 8th. And when it was all said and done, the Brewers with an 11-1 victory over the Cubs.
Good to see him get those add-on runs. The Brewers scored runs in each of the last 5 innings last night.
Really puts Council's bullpen in good shape tonight. The Brewers used Knebel, Lyles, and Albers last night. And that win for the Brewers in Game 2 of the series last night secured a series win. Brewers have won 5 consecutive series now.
And ordinarily that's what you want to accomplish, win series, but you know, not when you're 3 games behind the Cubs and you have a chance to sweep. This is one that this is not gravy day for the Brewers. They need to keep it going.
Now, started the series 6 games back in the loss column, still 4 back, 3 back in the overall standings. The Brewers have played more games than the Cubs, but the loss column is what is most important here. Braun on the ground, backhanded, and Baez will make the play to second. That'll retire the side. Quintana puts up a 0, answers Chacin. We head to the second.
Park, and you can secure your postseason strip by placing a deposit on a 2019 season ticket plan. Find the right plan today by going to brewers.com/season tickets.
Hoping postseason baseball returns to Milwaukee this season. It has been since the 2011 campaign. Brewers ended in the National League Championship Series that year. They were 2 wins away from a World Series back in 2011. And they are confident in their ball club this year. The late additions now starting to settle in as Chacin deals Ben Zobrist strike 1. Well, you look at the ball club now, Rock, and every day the lineup, even if it looks a little bit different than the day before, plenty of firepower. You got firepower on the bench. You got versatile pieces you can add defensively if you wish.
And you have veteran guys that have been through this before, and there's no replacing that. We've been talking about that for the last few days. I mean, you go back to Monday and how important that is late in games, taking walks, not swinging out of the zone. I mean, veteran guys that have been through this before, they can slow the game down. And the Brewers are counting on that from some of their veteran guys in the starting rotation, including Chacin, Wade Miley, Chase Anderson, and Gio Gonzalez is going to get a start on Saturday.
Freddie Peralta and Junior Guerra are going to be the two that are out of the rotation. There's a hot ground ball. Look at Arcia. Jump throw to first base, up the line. Aguilar the tag. Hey, what a play on both ends. Arcia, who was over on the shift, and Aguilar with the catch and the tag as Zobrist runs by.
Yeah, it makes it look easy, doesn't he? I mean, he had time to set himself and make a good throw, but very confident in that throwing arm, off balance, going away from first and getting Zobrist by plenty. Good job by Aguilar coming off the bag and making the tag. Not even close at first.
That's a good look at the footwork of Jesus Aguilar. He's a big man, but he moves well. Not trying to stretch for that throw, knowing he had time to come off the bag, make the catch in a good foundation, and make the tag as Zobrist runs by. Well done.
Yeah, he is a good first baseman. He doesn't get enough credit for that.
Bryant pops it up. Arcia and Moustakas are over. Moustakas will make the play in foul territory, and it is out number 2. Let's check out tonight's Rocket Mortgage breakdown. Yoeli Chacin, last 4 starts, a 3-1 record, a 1.42 earned run average for Chacin. Those starts coming against the Cubs, the Cardinals, both on the road. Had a home start against the Pirates and then a road start against the Washington Nationals. So 3 of those 4 are on the road.
Yeah, and 6 starts in the month of August, a 379 earned run average, and that including at a start at LA where he gave up 8 earned runs. That's how good he was the rest of those starts. That was his first August start as well.
Chacin with 9 road wins, second behind John Lester in the National League. Lester of the Cubs has won 10 road games. On the ground, Schwarber right to Schoop. Nice and easy for Yoeli Chacin. Heck of a play to start the inning by Arcia and Aguilar, and we're headed to the bottom of the second.
And the Cubs and the top of the Brewers lineup looks a little different with reigning National League Player of the Week Christian Yelich out of the lineup today. This is the first game he has not been in the lineup going all the way back to July 3rd before the All-Star break. So he's played every game of the second half of the season. Craig Counsell saying there were signs on Sunday that they would need to give Yelich a day off at some point on this homestand. Counsell referring to just the sequence of how the games have gone, a couple extra inning games, the schedule, long travel coming back from Washington, D.C. So he pointed out there are not many players who have played every day at the level that Yelich has, and so they felt that it was important to give him today off. He will have the benefit of having back-to-back days with the team off day tomorrow, and they'll be ready to go for that series against the Giants.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Still might see Yelich swing the bat a little bit later today if need be. They'd rather not use him. They have a full bench available. Jonathan Schoop leads off for the Brewers. Big swing and a miss, and he's down in the count 0-2.
Yeah, there's only 4 guys that have played every game so far this year. 2 of them are in Atlanta, Markakis and Freeman. So kind of a rare bird these days.
Schoop, a swing and a miss, strikes out for out number 1. Second K for Quintana.
Remember, Yelich has missed some time. He's on the disabled list, you know, for about 10 or 11 days. Then he had, you know, during July, he was out for 4 games with an oblique, maybe a back issue, maybe. So there were some times where he was not able to play, but he has been there every game since the second half.
Yelich has missed 16 games this year. This would be number 17 if he doesn't play here tonight. Mike Moustakas with 1 away. Moustakas has had a hard time finding his way into the starting lineup with the Cubs rolling out 3 left-handed pitchers. He is in there against Quintana. He's got some numbers against Jose Quintana as well. Saw a lot of them in his time with the Royals, Quintana's time with the White Sox, playing in the same division in the AL Central. Moustakas with 12 career hits, including 3 home runs against Jose Quintana. In the air in the right center field, hit pretty well. Back is Zobrist, and he's got it for the out.
Yeah, just out in front a bit. Got it on the end. Looked like a curveball from Quintana, left it upstairs. Moustakas gave it a pretty good ride, but got it down on the end. Breaking ball kind of flat, and Moustakas just missed it.
Two up, 2 down. Now to bring up Eric Kratz, starting his 3rd consecutive game at 38 years of age. He says this pennant race is keeping him young at heart as he swings late, fly ball to right, and a quick 1-2-3 inning for Quintana. Brewers go in order. We head to the 3rd inning. Cubs are coming to bat. Marines are watching this game on AFN, the American Forces Network. Welcome to those in countries around the world aboard naval ships at sea, and thank you for your service. Final game of the series between the Cubs and the Brewers. And a good crowd filing in here, fighting through the rain tonight. Jolie Chacín and Jose Quintana both off to good starts. Chacín coming off an 8-pitch second inning. Has just 21 pitches in his first 2 scoreless frames, facing Wilson Contreras to start the third. He's got the bottom of the order here. Contreras, the pitcher, Quintana, who bats 8th, and then Ian Happ. Cubs do have a hit in this game. Had an infield single off the bat of Murphy in the first inning, the first batter. But Chacín was able to induce a double play out of Anthony Rizzo. That's how the inning ended. So Chacín has faced the minimum through the first 2.
I certainly don't want to say this too early, but you know, the Brewer pitching staff has done a pretty good job against a Cubs team that was clicking on all cylinders offensively before coming into Miller Park.
Cubs had maybe one of their best wins of the year on Sunday. It's a fly ball to center field. Right there is Kane, and there is out number 1. Contreras flies to Lorenzo Kane. Now the Cubs beat Aaron Nola and the Phillies decisively on Sunday. One of the best pitchers in the game and a Cy Young Award candidate.
And they had been playing really good baseball, winning a lot of games. They're in the middle of a stretch of 23 games in 23 days. Before they came to Miller Park, they were 13-3 to start it out.
While the Brewers enjoy a day off tomorrow, the Cubs will jump on a plane tonight and head back to the East Coast. They will have a series against the Washington Nationals starting tomorrow, a 4-gamer against the Nats, as their 11-game road trip continues. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Quintana.
See that 2-seam fastball, the way it just disappears when it gets to home plate. He throws it inside to a right-hander. That's what he's been doing so well lately, along with the curveball.
And there's a curveball in there for a strike. And an about face for Quintana. 2nd strikeout for Chacín.
He's throwing a baseball with so much confidence. He feels right now that he can throw any pitch at any time, and he's going to be able to throw it for a strike. And he has. Walks are down, strikeouts are up. Been fun to watch this guy.
Their pitching coach Derek Johnson, who spent time before his days with the Brewers as the Cubs minor league pitching coordinator. Hard not to be impressed with what he's seen out of Chacín. He is a pitcher's pitcher. Changes speeds, moves the ball in and out, has great command of all of his pitches. He'll drop arm angles every now and then. He'll quicken his release every now and then. So sometimes you'll see him take a short step. Just got a great sense of who's at the plate, how they're approaching him. And he's been in lockstep with whomever has caught him all season long.
Yeah, not a whole lot of shaking off. I mean, they are together on what they want to do before the game even starts.
No balls, 2 strikes on Ian Happ, hitting 9th in this lineup. Happ got in the game late yesterday, had a ringing double in his first at bat of the game. Drove one into the gap in left center. The 1-2. 2-2 now on Happ. Cubs are still without Jason Hayward. He's on the disabled list with a hamstring injury. That's how their road trip started in Atlanta, with Hayward having to come out of that game. Roll over grounder. Nice easy hop for Aguilar. And Chacín retires the side in order, faces the minimum first time through the batting order.
Nationals at Nats Park, and it did not take Matt Adams long to get going. First inning, a 3-run shot off of starter Tanner Roark that would give them a 3-0 lead. That was his first home run with the Cardinals since being picked up by them on August 21st. He also just homered again in the 5th inning. The Cardinals have a 6-0 lead. Matt Adams with a 2-homer game already.
Yeah, Adams traded from the Nats to the Cardinals, returning to St. Louis. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Cardinals off to a good start in that game.
Trade me, will you? Take that.
Yeah, Daniel Murphy, Matt Adams, both traded. Ryan Matson. Nationals unloaded some pieces, and the Brewers will unveil their Nationals piece on Saturday against the Giants. Gio Gonzalez will start for the Brewers on Saturday night.
Looking forward to that against the Giants. Yep.
Arcia leads away here for the Brew Crew in the bottom of the 3rd inning. He's hitting 8th in this lineup tonight, ahead of the pitcher Chacin. Arcia with 3 hits last night. His first hit was a little flare with a runner in motion that plopped down right behind the skin of the dirt in shallow right field, and then that hit almost seemed to free him up a little bit, because he had a couple of line shots after that.
Yeah, amazing how that happens. I mean, you just get one on the books and everything starts to come together. You relax a little bit at the plate. Need to get this guy going because he makes a difference at shortstop.
He's already made a beautiful play tonight, taking a hit away from Zobrist. 2-2 the count to Arcia. Three-hit game matched a season high for Orlando last night. This was the first one. You get a hit out of this, you're winning. And then a little confidence started to build for Arcia. Went down the left field line for a double. And then his last time up, drove one through the hole for a base hit. 3rd 3-hit game of the year last night. That's a chopper out to short. Baez gloves it, throws it in time for the out.
Some kind of arm that guy had. Kind of double clutched on that slow roller. Still able to throw a strike over to first base with a lot on it. Check out this arm. A little bit of a bobble maybe right there. Get the grip and a frozen rope over to Rizzo.
Into a Gold Glove first baseman as well. Baez, very slick fielding infielder, and he's excellent at short.
Play catch with him before the game. You break in a glove very quickly.
Yeah. Baez has been playing a lot of shortstop with Addison Russell on the disabled list with that finger and shoulder injury. And the Cubs don't lose a beat there. Russell started the first 2 games at short. Baez gets a call today. Big hack by Chacin, getting his money's worth. No balls, 2 strikes on the Brewer pitcher. He does have 9 hits this season. And down he goes. A strikeout. That's the 3rd for Quintana. We got big news today, by the way, Rock. We have a new member of the Brewers family. Congratulations to Mike and Gina Vasallo, Brewers head of media relations, and the baby girl born this morning, Alexa Ray. Congratulations, joining brother Jackson. He's got the mohawk going for the occasion.
Yep.
And congratulations to Team Vasallo. Great to have you on board, Alexa.
Yep, Gina doing well. Mike Vasallo, of course, had to have his New York Jets hat on.
Ruining the picture for all time. Lorenzo Cain drives one right field, slicing right to Zobrist. Hit it hard, but lines out to his former teammate. And that's a quick 1-2-3 inning for Quintana. Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Ascension, coming together to give healthcare a better name. We are Ascension. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. Images of the great Roberto Clemente represented excellence and grace on and off the field. Roberto Clemente Day today, and the Brewers announced yesterday that Corey Knebel was the nominee for the Roberto Clemente Award, the Brewers nominee. Congratulations to Corey and his wife Danielle. Tremendous honor, and it's always great to honor one of the all-time greats. Not just great players, but one of the great humanitarians this game has ever seen. There's Corey Knebel. Had a nice night last night. Boy, he looks like he is getting back to his all-star ways.
Yeah, his appearances so far since coming back have been terrific. Curveball looks like it did a year ago.
Chacin back at the top of the order, second time around now for the Cubs. Murphy had an infield hit in the first. Chacin wiped that out with a double play off the bat of Rizzo, so faced the minimum first 3 innings. That one's in the air, left center field, hit well. Braun watches this one fly out here. Daniel Murphy strikes again. All he's done is hit since he arrived in a Cubs uniform. His 10th home run of the season. And it's 1-0 Chicago.
Yeah, opposite field, second career home run off of Chacin. And you see the curveball. How about a curveball on 2-0 and he does that? This nice short stroke drives it out of here to the opposite field, and what an impact he's made since coming over.
Cubs are 10-3 with Murphy in the lineup on their roster. He hit a home run against Aaron Nola Sunday. Completely changed that game against the Phillies. Nola was dealing at that time, had 7 strikeouts, and they were playing in the 3rd inning. He had 6 consecutive Ks, and Murphy launched one into the bleachers in right field. Cubs would hit 3 solo homers that day, and it was all started by Daniel Murphy. Been huge for them. Got a new lease, traded from the Nats to the Cubs. Immediately entering into a pennant race. He was a Cubs killer in the postseason of 2015 when he was playing for the Mets.
A difference maker hitting in the leadoff spot.
Baez rifles one to left field. Braun will play it back to the infield quickly. And 2 hard hit balls to start the 4th inning. Second time through the batting order against Chacin.
Yeah, Baez with the big swing. Here you see a fastball kind of flat. It was supposed to be on the outside corner, and Baez able to square it up. His 2nd hit of the series.
His first hit was a little flare pop-up that found a home in the grass short right field. He would later strike out 3 times in that game on Monday. Hitless last night, and now a base hit in his 2nd at bat.
And just so dangerous with the swings that he takes. Does not shorten up ever. Just takes that same swing regardless. Strikes out a ton, but has been very productive.
Nobody out, a run is in. Back-to-back hits, a home run and a single. And here is Anthony Rizzo. Bounced into a 6-3 double play his last time up. Baez standing on first base. Chacin throws over anyway. That's not for you, Javi. That's for me, says Yolis.
And he just wants to make sure that Jesus is paying attention. Just kidding. He's always paying attention.
He throws over there again. The great instigator, Javi Baez. Love him as a teammate, hate him if you're the opposition.
Yeah, he does so many things that can help beat you.
Has 21 steals on the year. Been caught 8 times. Unlikely he's running with Rizzo at the plate with the power threat, but we'll see. Rizzo right off the end of the bat.
Not too many guys in all of baseball that make more of a headache for a defense on the bases than Javier Baez. He's always taking risks, and most of the time gets away with it.
All the while when he's having a conversation with the first baseman. Chacin could use another ground ball here. One ball, one strike, and Rizzo steps out. One and two the count.
That home run that Chacin allowed was the first home run that he's given up since August 8th. He's been doing a tremendous job keeping the baseball in the ballpark. He gave up 4 home runs in the month of August. 3 of those came at Dodger Stadium.
He's got Rizzo in a hole, 1 and 2. And Rizzo fouls this one away. Count remains at a ball and 2 strikes. Well, the Brewers couldn't have a better guy on the mound to try to secure a sweep. Sweeps are rare, especially against the Cubs here at Miller Park. It's been 5 years since the Brewers swept the Cubs in their home ballpark. 2013 was the last sweep. Rizzo into center field, a base hit. Baez turns and runs. Throw to third base is high, and it's off the facing of the dugout. Arcia chasing. Now a throw to third, and that's going to get by. Rizzo to third base. It is all because of Baez.
He just does not like to stop. He just keeps running, forcing throws, forcing mistakes. An unusually bad throw by Lorenzo Cain. You don't see him do this very often. All the way in the air mails everybody. And then it all starts up again. Baez able to score. Bad throw by Arcia. This keeps going.
He's forced 2 errors from Lorenzo Cain in the series. Cubs lead 2-0. And now Ben Zobrist.
Just runs the bases with reckless abandon. I mean, he really does not have any fear of being thrown out. And that's what makes him so dangerous.
Yeah, more often than not, they don't throw him out.
Yeah,
he catches opposition on off guard and flat-footed most of the time.
He has really good instincts is what he's got.
Going to be 2 errors on that play. Rizzo single to center. Cain commits his 6th error. Arcia his 15th error. The E8 allows Baez to score. The E6 allows Rizzo to third base.
Yeah, good throw, and Rizzo's out easily.
Runner at third, nobody out. No balls, 2 strikes on Zobrist, and he pulls it foul. Well, it was the Cubs who offered up Some unearned runs yesterday. Cubs committed 3 errors in the game yesterday. And the Brewers with 2 errors on the same play.
Javier Baez might be the guy that you want to keep off the bases the most of any player in the big leagues. I mean, think about it. I mean, what he's able to do. I know Billy Hamilton creates problems for you.
He's not nearly as gutsy as Baez, though, right? I mean, Baez will always take the chance.
That guy gets on first base. I mean, look out.
He created a run in the opener on Monday in a similar fashion. Lorenzo Cain just dropped the ball in center field. You get caught watching. Just creates so much chaos on the bases. As a fielder, he rushes you. It's a ground ball, fair ball, hits the bat. Another run's going to score. On his way to second goes Zobrist. Throw comes in late. It's an RBI double. 3 runs are in on 4 consecutive hits to start this 4th inning.
Well, let's check out the pitch. A breaking ball down. It was actually out of the strike zone. Zobrist does a real good job of keeping the ball, putting a ball in play with 2 strikes. Just inside the first baseline, and run number 3 crosses home plate.
Well, Chacin, as good as he was first time through the batting order, he has not recorded an out yet. Second time through, 4 consecutive hits, all of them hit hard. And Derek Johnson with a visit to the mound.
Hey, be the first to know all the latest Brewers news with MLB At Bat, the official app of the Brewers. With At Bat, you get breaking news, you get live audio broadcast, you get lineup updates and right to your fingertips. Download At Bat today, free for your smartphone or tablet.
Chacin in the danger zone here in the 4th inning. 3 runs are in. Runner at second, Zobrist. And here is Chris Bryant. This inning started with a Daniel Murphy home run. Cubs aren't biting on that curveball now from Chacin.
It took the Cubs a while to score on Chacin. It's been 3 starts. 16 scoreless innings for Yolis against the Cubs until they score in this inning.
Two and one now. Bryant popped up in foul territory his first time up. And Kyle Schwarber due next. Chacin needs an out desperately. And a wave and a miss. 2-2 the count.
And a good slider there down out of the strike zone. The 2-0 pitch looked like it might have been down. And Jerry Meals gave him the call. And now Chris Bryant chases one out of the zone.
Takes a peek at Zobrist, and the 2-2. Bryant fouls it away. Went with a fastball that time.
The idea of those breaking pitches in the back of the hitter's mind makes 92 a little quicker than 92 miles an hour. That one right down the middle. He was late on it.
little flare pop-up caught by Aguilar. And Bryant is out. There's the first out of the inning for Chacin.
Backup curveball here. Watch this. Curveball that stays in off the plate. Down on the handle and an easy out to Aguilar. That one almost hung too much.
Kyle Schwarber now. One out, runner at second. And a wild pitch. He's going to get away from Kratz. Over to third goes Zobrist.
Fastball just got away from him, and Kratz got a glove on it, not able to hold on.
Puts a runner at third with one away.
Brewers doing tonight what the Cubs did last night.
Yeah, looks very similar. Hoping for a different result.
Right.
Two 2-0 the count to Schwarber. Have Contreras due next, and then the pitcher spot. See how aggressive Chacin wants to be with Schwarber at the plate. He spins one in for a strike. 2-1 now.
That same pitch and the same count was what Daniel Murphy hit out of the ballpark. 2-0 curveball.
Chacin in a battle here in this fourth inning. 3 runs are in. A big swing and a miss. 2-2 now. Fastball from Chacin. And Schwarber chased it. Brewers have their infield in. With Contreras due next. Could use a strikeout. 2-2 pitch. Schwarber doesn't bite.
Chacin seems like a little frustrated with his command tonight, especially his fastball.
Was not the case in the first 3 innings. And has lost it a little bit here in the fourth. Trying to get it back on the rails quickly. Full count to Schwarber. He grounded to second base his first time up. Brewers have all 4 of their infielders in. And Schwarber had a good cut at that one. Fouls it back.
Curveball has been easier to put where he wants than the fastball in this inning. Sometimes that's the way it goes. I mean, sometimes the off-speed pitches are a little bit more consistent for you than the fastball. Hard to believe, but sometimes that's the way it goes.
Well, if you can get Schwarber, then you can walk Contreras and face the pitcher here in this fourth inning. Give you a way out of this inning. 3-2 pitch. Schwarber takes a ball. Ball 4. Now you're forced to pitch to Contreras. First and third with 1 away. 4 hits and a walk in this inning. And his next pitch will be his 30th of the inning.
And needs a ground ball. Get out of this mess with a double play. He was able to do that pretty well. Get the ground balls first 3 innings.
Corbin Burnes starting to get loose for the Brewers. Well, Chacin is a ground ball pitcher, and you got a hitter at the plate who's bounced into 13 double plays this year. But he can do some damage as well. 9 homers, 47 RBIs. All-star catcher, and he takes ball 1. Big hitter for Chacin. You got the pitcher due up next. And a little swimmer. Scope ranging over, makes a play. Aguilar's throw to third is going to be in plenty of time to get Schwarber. That's the second out, but another run scores. Brewers had the shift on, and Contreras able to find a hole.
Yeah, good heads up play by Aguilar. They weren't going to be able to get the out at first base, but Schwarber trying to pull the old Javier Baez, and he just doesn't have the speed to do it. He just keeps going. Throws goes to first, and Aguilar immediately recognizes an easy out at third.
Put out goes 4-3-5. And the second out. Here is Quintana now, the Cubs pitcher, 8th batter of the inning. Been a disaster here for Chacin and the Brewers. He's going to throw as many pitches in this 4th inning than he had combined in the first 3 innings. Oh-2 pitch, and down goes Quintana, and the inning is over. So the 3rd strikeout, but some serious damage done. 4 runs in for the Cubs, 4-0 Chicago. Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Well, the Brewers have their work cut out for them tonight. They're hoping to find the long ball a few times in this one. That's one guy who could get it done. 4-0 Cubs. Let's take a look at the Powerball home run count for Milwaukee. They've hit 183 home runs this season. Only the Dodgers have hit more. 2nd in the National League in that category. And the Brewers are going to need a few of those in this one here tonight.
They have 15 runs in this series and no homers. Brewers are manufacturing runs in this series. A few homers are going to help tonight.
There were 2 errors in the top of the 4th inning, but all of the runs are earned runs. And now the Brewers go to work. Down 4, Jose Quintana back on the mound for the Cubs. Quintana has had 2 very efficient innings. 7-pitch 2nd inning, a 10-pitch 3rd.
Seems like he's throwing more fastballs tonight against the Brewers. This game normally change up curveball, fastball in.
Yeah, good velocity on his fastball tonight as well at 94. Reaching back for a little extra on that fastball to Perez. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. And Perez, a little flare that is going to fall in right center. A hit the Brewers needed. Second of the game for Milwaukee. It's a lead single in the 4th.
Yeah, got to get something on the board here. You don't want to have the Cubs run away and hide. Well, finally the curveball, a good one, but Perez, we've seen him do this a lot as of late. 2-strike approach, letting go with one hand and dumping a base hit into right field. A 7-game hitting streak for Hernan Perez.
Continues to find his name in the lineup. He's been hitting well since early July. Here comes Aguilar. Brewers could get 2 back quickly with Jesus at the plate. Still looking for their first home run of this series. Aguilar has the 3rd best home run ratio in the National League. Hits him every 13.2 at bats. He's at 31 this year, 95 RBIs. Hardly played the first month of the season. He's atop the Powerball home run leaderboard with those 31. The Brewers have 5 20+ home run players.
Aguilar gave the league a month head start. But he's caught up.
Wasn't his fault. He was trying to get in there. Put me in, coach. Brewers had a log jam at first base. Eric Thames and Ryan Braun.
G-Man Choi made the ball club.
That's right. Yeah, Choi was on the opening day roster. Aguilar was patient, had to wait his turn. And then once Thames went out with the injury, he really caught fire. Ended up as an all-star for the first time. Competed in the home run derby. He's had the year of his life. And the Brewers are hoping he keeps on hitting. Need a big one right here. No balls, 2 strikes. 1 and 2.
And he thought last year was the year of his life, right? Finally getting to the big leagues and being productive, hitting home runs, driving in runs.
A waiver claim by David Stearns prior to last season. Yeah, defensive swing. Aguilar strikes out. That's the 4th K for Quintana. Let's check out tonight's AARP take on Ryan Braun versus the Chicago Cubs. In his career, which spans 167 games, Braun is a .322 career hitter, 35 home runs. He's driven in 124 RBIs. So you're talking about a season just a little more than a full regular season of 167 games played. Just monster numbers against the Cubs.
A lot of damage at Wrigley Field. He likes hitting at Wrigley Field. And the Cubs have had some pretty good pitching over the years. Not too many National League Central teams that Ryan Braun didn't have big numbers against.
There's among the all-time active home run leaders against the Reds. Only Pujols has hit more home runs against Cincinnati. 12 years in the league for Braun. All with the Brewers, all in this National League Central division. And he's been at his best in pennant races, late in the season, big moments. Got a chance to perform again here this season. Braun hit one of his most memorable home runs in a regular season game against the Cubs late September of 2008, last day of the year. Gave the Brewers a lead.
3-0 count. Does he swing?
He takes ball 4. Well, the Brewers making a little noise. First time they've had 2 men on against Quintana.
And a lot of fastballs, and Ryan Braun not biting. Quintana wasn't missing those corners by much. Able to draw the walk. 4-pitch walk.
Jonathan Schoop. One of the signature wins of the year this year for the Brewers was that extra inning victory against the Cincinnati Reds. And one of the key moments in that game, after the Reds had taken a 10-6 lead, was Jonathan Schoop coming right back the next inning, the 7th inning, hitting a 2-run homer before there was an out. And suddenly the Brewers were just 2 back, started to gain a little momentum.
Brought some life into that dugout.
That was his 3rd home run as a Brewer. He's hit 20 this year, 17 as an Oriole, 3 with Milwaukee. Pulls it hard. Oh, bad hop into left field. Heading home to score is Perez, and the Brewers get a break.
Yeah, that was going to be a double play ball if that ball doesn't bounce like that. A wicked hop came up on Bryant. It will be a base hit for sure. Curveball. That was a nasty hop. Check that out. Get out of the way. Not able to knock it down, and because of that, Perez able to score.
Had so much top spin on it. And takes the bad hop. It's a bad hop single and an RBI for Schoop. And suddenly the Brewers bring the tying run to the plate here in Mike Moustakas. Bryant fortunate he avoided some dental work right there. That was a wicked hop.
Yeah. You get a sense why Quintana is really trying to throw the fastballs tonight. Seems like every time he makes a mistake, or even with Perez, in Perez's case, he threw a good curveball, ended up with a base hit. He was probably sitting off speed. But Quintana, at least the Braun, not able to find the plate with it.
Might be changing up the signs, bringing Baez in. Although it seems like Baez is involved in every conversation that any Cub has. Braun's got to be on his toes out at second base as well. Brewers get a break. Now can they cash in? Mike Moustakas, 3 career home runs against Jose Quintana. His first start in the series. He's been anxious to be a part of this rivalry. He did draw a walk with the bases loaded on Monday that tied the game.
Looks like a pretty good pitch. Yep, above the line.
Burnes turning a little bit here for the Brewers, it would seem. That was a break. 2-0 the count. Moustakas takes a strike. Sort of a 2-0 breaking ball.
Seems like both of these pitchers tonight have better command of off speed than fastball. Unusual.
Moustakas narrowly missed a home run his last time up. He just caught it down on the end of the bat, a touch, and a fly out to deep right. Braun at second, Schoop at first, and that's way inside. Both runners will advance on a wild pitch from Quintana.
Not sure how that didn't hit him. Way inside. Moustakas able to jump out of the way. Jackknifes, doesn't get him, and another ball getting by Contreras. I mean, that's certainly one you got to catch. It wasn't that bad. Off the glove.
That was close. Now a base hit could play 2. The Moose calls her out. Here's a 3-1. Throw him another curve.
Not many guys are going to be looking curveball at a 3-1 count. That's why he took it.
They threw him a 2-0 curveball and then a 3-1 curveball. Full count now. Just one out. Good speed at third and Braun. The Stock is trying to elevate one. And he pulls it foul.
He kind of hung that one. Those are the ones you knock out of the ballpark, but got under it.
Eric Kratz due next. Brewers get a run on a bad hop single by Scope. Now second and third. After the Cubs scored 4 in the top of this inning, the Brewers knocking at the door for more. 3-2 pitch and a chopper foul. Chased one out of the zone that time.
Shortening up, just trying to put the bat on it.
See where he made contact with that pitch?
Yeah, almost out of the catcher's glove.
By the way, they changed that pitch that got to the screen to a pass ball, not a wild pitch.
Yeah. Not a good pitch, but one that Contreras has to be able to catch.
Do it again. Another 3-2 from Quintana. And Moustakas takes a called strike 3 right down the middle.
Yeah, looking curveball.
5th strikeout for Quintana. Caught him guessing.
Yeah. Check out Contreras. He wanted that pitch up. At least it looked like he did. Right down the middle.
So here is Eric Kratz now. Kratz flew out to right his first time up. Trying to deliver a 2-out hit. Both runners will be on the move with the crack of the bat. Should score 2 if he hits one to the outfield. There's a fastball. 0-2 to count.
Quintana grunting on every pitch.
Been a step ahead of the Brewer hitters for the most part. Eric Kratz looking for one mistake here with 2 outs. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the Brewer catcher. Inside and gets away. No, it hit him. That's going to load the bases. Brewers would have certainly preferred a wild pitch, but that hits Kratz, and they are loaded up.
Yep, curveball gets him on a bounce. Got him on the knee.
And a dead ball at that moment. So Braun and Scope sent back to their respective bases. And the bases are loaded here with 2 away. Jim Hickey, the Cubs pitching coach, out to have a chat with Quintana. Cubs are racking up the mound visits here in this inning.
One-sided discussion right here.
Well, Orlando Arcia will be the hitter for Milwaukee. Each team with 4 mound visits remaining. Cubs taking 2 in this inning. Arcia's had a down year offensively, but he has had a knack for the dramatic this season. Has 2 walk-off hits this year for the Brewers. 5 times he has go-ahead RBIs. And he's up there with the bases loaded. Quintana deals him strike 1 right at the top of the strike zone. Ryan Braun reached on a walk. Scope with that bad hop single and an RBI, and then Kratz hit by a pitch. No balls and a strike upstairs. One and one. Arcia chased it.
Defensive swing.
Made up his mind and realized too late that was up around his eyes.
Yeah, another fastball up in the zone and very defensive swing.
Quintana's got a lot of hitters guessing right now. 1 and 2 and a breaking ball in the dirt. Good smother back there by Contreras. 2-2 the count.
Blocking pitches has been a difficult thing for Contreras in this series. Able to keep that one close, keep it in front of him, saving a run.
Pitcher spot due next. Unlikely Chacin would hit if his spot comes up in this inning. Tying run at first and Kratz. Here's a 2-2 and Arcia pops it up. Javier Baez will make the call. He's got it for the out and the inning is over. Brewers let a golden opportunity go by. Strand the bases loaded. They get a bad hop single off the bat of Jonathan Scope. They get 1 back, but it's 4-1 Cubs as we go to the 5th.
Today across Major League Baseball, in honor of Roberto Clemente, Major League Baseball annually bestows an award in his name to recognize the player who best represents the game of baseball by making positive contributions both on and off the field. This year, Corey Knebel will be recognized as the Brewers nominee, and if you'd like to cast your vote now, you have it until October 5th at MLB.com/Clemente21.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Here we go to the 5th inning, 4-1 Cubs. And Ian Happ will lead off for Chicago. He's the 9-hole hitter. It'll be Happ, Murphy, and Baez coming up. Brewers get just 1. Stranding the bases loaded in that inning. There's a swing by Happ and a ball and a strike.
Yeah, we've been watching Quintana all season long. A lot of success against the Brewers. Don't remember him throwing as many fastballs in the other starts as he has tonight. And he's really got the Brewers guessing up there. Moustakas caught guessing on a fastball down the middle. Had Arcia on a pop-up on a pitch down the middle.
Now that Moustakas at bat was the key out in the inning for Quintana, with runners at second and third. Think how close that pitch prior came to hitting Moustakas to load the bases. But he got him on a fastball, then was able to get Arcia after he hit Eric Kratz to load the bases.
Really haven't seen many of the change-ups from Quintana. The curveball's been inconsistent. He's completely pitching different than he has all season long. Maybe it was because he got hit pretty hard his last time out against Milwaukee.
2-2, and Happ in the air, left field, slicing. Braun's on the run, and Braun cannot get there, but the ball is foul. Good effort by Ryan Braun. That wall comes on you fast, and Braun, very familiar with left field here at Miller Park, went into a slide.
It's on you quickly, especially when you're going full speed. And it doesn't budge.
I saw Johnny Diaz break his leg in that very similar area on a similar slide a few years back here at Miller Park. So 2-2 to Happ now. Chacín needing a bounce back inning, and the 2-2 misses high. 3-2 the count. The Washington Nationals are putting up a fight against the Cardinals. They have scored in each of the last 3 innings, and in a game that was 6-0, it is now 7-6 Cardinals. There's a called strike 3. Fastball on the inside corner. Happ disagrees. Chacín with a punch out to start the inning.
Yep, right on the edge. And Jerry Mills rings it up. And Happ back to the zone. That pitch is about a foot inside. Pretty close.
1 away. 4th strikeout for Yolis. And to the top of the order now, and Daniel Murphy started that 4th inning rally with a home run. Got a backdoor breaking ball. Statcast AI powered by AWS. 388-foot home run into the Brewer bullpen.
Yeah, first of 4 runs for the Cubs in the 4th.
Murphy has 7 multi-hit games in his 13 starts with the Cubs. He's 2 for 2 tonight.
Well, last time up, a 2-0 curveball from Chacín. He hit out of the ballpark. What does Chacín throw him here?
A curveball, and he laces it into left field, a base hit. He has a sick sense to know what's coming.
Yeah, well, he's just looking location. Chacín left that one up just like he did the last time up, and this one a line drive. Stays in the ballpark.
3-time All-Star. Twice he has led the National League at doubles. Did that with the Nationals. Traded from the Nats to the Cubs. Huge pickup. Murphy already has 17 hits as a Cub, playing in his 13th game. 2-0 pitch, or rather the pitch to Baez. First pitch is swung on and fouled away. Baez with a single, then a mad dash around the bases again, creating 2 errors by the Brewers. Kane and Arcia, their 2 best defenders. Oh, and 2 the count.
And no reason to think you need to throw him a strike. I mean, maybe bounce a curveball, throw one up in his zone.
Dan Jennings loosening in the Brewer bullpen. Corbin Burnes was getting loose last inning.
Get ahead of this guy, 2 strikes. I mean, he will chase, get something close, get it down.
There's a curveball missing. 1-2. Might see Jennings face Rizzo. The pitcher spot is due up to lead off the bottom of this 5th inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Got him. Went back to the breaking ball and a strikeout for Chacin.
Yeah, base hit by Baez was fastball. Having a difficult time with the breaking pitch in this series. Off the plate, Baez with the big swing comes up empty.
And with 2 outs, that's going to be the end for Chacin. And he's frustrated. Council's going to make the call right here. Jennings is coming on to face Anthony Rizzo with a man at first and 2 away. Lefty on lefty matchup and a pitching change at Miller Park.
$14 and under in attendance will take home a Brewers puzzle cube courtesy of US Bank. Plus get a free ice cream bar and the opportunity to run the bases. 3 for 1 in that game. And for tickets, go to brewers.com.
Chacin is out 4 2/3 innings, gives up 4 runs, all earned. Giving up as many runs tonight than he had in his previous 4 starts combined. And right now on the hook for the loss. Still responsible for the runner at first. That is Murphy. Dan Jennings is on to face Anthony Rizzo.
Well, with a day off yesterday, looked for Craig Counsell to use a lot of guys down in that bullpen, and he has a ton to go to. Dan Jennings 67 appearances now. Last pitched on Saturday against the Washington Nationals, got a blown save. And he's got Anthony Rizzo to get out here, man at first and 2 outs.
Rizzo looks at a breaking ball in there for a strike. Rizzo against Dan Jennings has a couple of hits. He's 2 for 7, driven in 3 runs against him. Jennings has walked him. Two outs in the Cubs 5th after a 4-run 4th. Rizzo had a single in that 4th inning, scored a run. First 4 batters of the inning in the 4th all had hits and scored runs. Murphy the homer, Zobrist and Contreras with the RBIs. Other run coming in on an error. Scope out in the grass. Strong arm second baseman, and Rizzo chops one to him that hits the line. Now gets by Scope. Murphy will head to third. Rizzo to second base.
Hey, how about that base hit? I'm not sure if Jonathan Scope, if he got it in the glove, would have had to play it first, but certainly Rizzo would not have been able to get to second base. Chopper right in front of the home plate. You can see Scope is right there. It just misses it, and because of that, Rizzo able to get into second. So second and third and 2 outs now.
Going to score that as a single and an error. E4. Brewers commit their third error of the game. And now it's second and third with Zobrist at the plate. He's a switch hitter. Counsell would rather Zobrist bat off the right side, so Jennings stays for a second hitter. This will certainly be his last hitter, though.
Zobrist hitting .300 both sides of the plate. All of his home runs, though, 9 of them have come as a left-handed hitter.
Zobrist fourth in the league in hitting starting play today at age 37. 2 outs, second and third, and Jennings a strike.
A lot of experience around home plate right now with Kratz and Zobrist.
Those are the splits for Zobrist. High average. All of his power is from the left side. Crucial hitter here for Jennings. Brewers are down 4-1. They had a chance with the bases loaded last inning. Corbin Burnes is throwing again. And he'll face Bryant either this inning or next. Zobrist takes a strike. 1-2. In the dirt, good block by Kratz. Keeps Murphy at third. That'll leave in the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, so calm back there behind home plate, keeps everything loose. You stiffen up on plays like that, ball can scoot away from you, but not with Kratz. Very relaxed back there.
Counsell knows this is a big one. Get through this inning. Give yourself a chance. He has trusted Jennings. The 2-2 pitch, a shot back up the middle. Base hit. Murphy's in. They're going to wave Rizzo. Canes throw the plate all the way, and Rizzo is out at the home. Jennings gives up another hit and an RBI. 5-1 Cubs. The final out coming at home plate. Good throw from Lorenzo Cain, one of the league leaders in outfield assists.
And you can see Kratz making sure he's not blocking off home plate. Has the ball, and then he goes in front of home plate. Good job by Kratz. Just kind of lays the shin guards right there, and not sure if he ever gets to home plate.
And Joe Madden is asking for a review here. Cubs are going to challenge this. 2 out, 2 strike hit by Zobrist. And a lot on the line here with this call.
That was a slider from Jennings, and Ben Zobrist able to go down and get it. Now check out Kratz.
He's out.
I'm not sure if he ever really gets the foot on there, but you can block off home plate once you have the baseball. That's what Kratz does. An angle on the scoreboard that made it look like maybe Zobrist got his foot in there, but there it is right there. Not cut and dried.
Call on the field is out. Has to be evidence to overturn here. Counsell making a call down to his bullpen for either scenario. So awaiting word from the replay review center in Chelsea, New York. Jerry Meals, the home plate umpire, who was the calling umpire, will relay that information. And out is the call. So the inning is over, but another run scores. Zobrist drives in the Cubs' 5th run. It's 5-1 as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning.
In baseball, quite a finish in Atlanta this afternoon, a series finale between the Red Sox and the Braves, and Brandon Phillips came up down 1, down to their final out in the 9th inning, a 2-run homer off of A.J. Minter that would give the Red Sox the 9-8 lead. They would win it by that score, and for Brandon Phillips, this was his season debut. The 16-year veteran had signed a minor league deal with the Red Sox, was just making his debut today. 37 years old, comes up with the big homer to help the Red Sox win the game.
And how many of you out there said Brandon Phillips plays for Boston?
Yeah, right.
He's been sitting all year, went unsigned, and getting his chance in a pennant race in September. Red Sox having a great year. Here's Domingo Santana pinch hitting. Cubs have a 5-1 lead as we play in the bottom of the 5th.
And how this game's turned around for both pitchers, right? I mean, really breezed both of them through the first 3 innings, and then it has been a grind ever since.
0-2 the count.
Brewers had a great opportunity to put up a crooked number in the 4th, was not able to do it.
Count evens at 2-2 to Santana. Santana's been the regular early pinch hitter for Craig Counsell. A September call up. As a starter all of last year, hit 30 homers in the big leagues last season. Been a frustrating year for Santana, but give him credit, went to the minor leagues. Had good success in Colorado Springs in a little over 50 games.
It took a while to get going. The Brewers are hoping he's going to be able to get some hits and help them in September.
2-2 the count to Santana. And he's fighting off Quintana as best he can. Count remains at 2-2. full count now.
And a good take by Santana. He's always been very good taking pitches out of the zone, drawing walks.
Got the top of the order next in Lorenzo Cain. Brewers need base runners, trailing by 4 here in the 5th. And Quintana walks him. So Santana comes up with a walk in a pinch hit appearance. And a lead runner is on for Milwaukee.
Good as a hit when you're down by 4, need base runners. Back-to-back innings, the Brewers are able to get their leadoff hitter aboard.
Back to the top of the order in Lorenzo Cain. Had a line drive out to right field his last time up. He is 0 for 2. That Nationals Cardinals game goes to the bottom of the 8th now. 7-6 St. Louis. Nats have had an impressive comeback in that one, scoring 6 runs across the 5th, 6th, and 7th inning. Had a 4-run 7th. So they are within a run with 6 outs to work with. Cain on the ground to short. Baez will go to second. Murphy's turn. Low throw. Dug out by Rizzo. A double play.
A heck of a play by Anthony Rizzo at first base. Just a terrible throw by Murphy. Not known for his great defense, but he certainly makes up for it with the bat. Should have been relatively routine, but it ended up being a pretty good play by Rizzo on the in-between hop. Not an easy pick at first base.
That's why he's a Gold Glover. And 2 outs for Hernan Perez. Slow curve in there for strike 1. At the plate, presented by Blaze Pizza. Perez has a hit and a run scored. Scored the lone run for the Brewers in the 4th. Quintana's got him down 0-2. Cubs got 4 in the 4th. Brewers got 1 in the bottom half, but left the bases loaded. And then the Cubs answered with 1 on the top of this inning. Brewers will have a new pitcher on the mound for the 6th inning. Looks like the rookie Corbin Burnes will try to settle this game down. Brewers do have some comeback ability. They are among the league leaders in comeback wins this year. Anytime you have a team with a lot of comebacks, you can almost always look at the bullpen, right? The bullpen that allows you to stay in games, keeps the opposition from adding on. Perez, little lazy fly ball into center field. And Quintana with a scoreless 5th inning works around a leadoff walk. 5-1 Cubs. We have played 5 innings at Miller Park.
For the Brewers opener against the Giants. To lock in your discounted tickets, head to brewers.com today.
Well, we get a look at rookie Corbin Burnes. Has such a bright future here in Milwaukee. Probably see him in the starting rotation next year. At least he'll have a chance to win a spot in that rotation.
He's been terrific out of the bullpen. 20th appearance, a 3-0 record. 288 the earned run average. He last pitched on Saturday against the Nationals. That was in Washington. Tossed a scoreless inning. Fastball, slider. He's starting to throw change up a little bit more, and every time out seems like he's getting more and more confidence.
Has electric stuff. Bryant greets him on the first pitch. Launches one deep into center. Kane is there to make the catch. One pitch and one out as Chris Bryant gives one a ride.
Spent a lot of time on that disabled list. Just timing's just not there. Fastball right down the middle. Burnes got away with it. We want to try that one again to Chris Bryant. Burnes are able to run it down.
Nice running catch by Kane, who has an outfield assist tonight as well. One away. Burnes will face Kyle Schwarber. 0 for 1 with a walk. See that green wristband that Schwarber wears. He is heavily involved in the United Mitochondrial Disease Foundation. And our buddy Troy Jakubowski, who works in our scoreboard operations, his daughter Morgan has that disease, and Kyle Schwarber is active in that foundation. They've got their Energy for Life walkathon coming up in Brookfield. That'll be at the end of September 29th. We certainly want to promote that and give Schwarber credit for all the great work he does with the United Mitochondrial Disease Foundation.
Yeah, just about every one of these guys, all the teams, they're actively involved in some type of charity or something going on in the community.
Schwarber met a young fan, Campbell Faulkner, and those two forged a friendship and asked him to wear those green bands around his wrists. He does so every night. These players have a great impact on and off the field, especially when you've hit the kind of celebrity status that Schwarber has. So good for him. Brewers are very active as well in their community and various efforts, and there's a lot of these that the ball club organizes a number of these opportunities, but then a lot of the players have connections to foundations and charities all on their own.
Not necessarily connected to Major League Baseball or the organization. You're right. All the sports do a pretty good job in getting involved in things that have nothing to do with sports.
Bouncing ball foul. Schwarber is an Ohio native. Played his college ball at Indiana. A Hoosier. A catcher when he was drafted. He did catch last year a few times, has not caught this year. There's a drive that is going to fly way out of here. Schwarber hits a tape measure home run to right center. 6-1 Cubs.
Fouled off some tough pitches. Corbin Burnes made a mistake, and that ball was crushed down to right center.
It's number 25 for Schwarber. And he gives the Cubs a 5-run lead.
That was a slider, a spinner down the middle of the plate. Didn't do much. Yeah, got the extension on that way back.
One away for Wilson Contreras. It's only the 3rd home run allowed by Burnes. This is his 20th game.
Yep, crack of the bat, you knew it was gone.
Contreras skies one to right. Routine for Perez. And there's out number 2. There's a lot to like about Corbin Burnes. He's a guy that has come to the big leagues and kind of owned his role here. They moved him to the bullpen in AAA, hoping to get him to the big leagues as a reliever. You never know how that's going to go. He still had to prove that he could pitch well out of the pen. He could get ready in a timely fashion, get warmed up. You can't have a starter's mentality when you're pitching in relief in the major leagues. And so right away, the first time around, they took him out of the rotation, put him in the pen, and he took extra time to get ready. And then they started ramping him up.
Good way to get your feet wet in the big leagues before you get an opportunity to start.
It's very similar to what the Brewers did with Josh Hader last year. And it was always thought that Hader was going to eventually be in the rotation. But he was so good out of the bullpen and that funky delivery. He has remained in the bullpen and has become an all-star reliever this year. Burnes has that kind of potential, and he is a fiery competitor. Gives up a home run to Schwarber. Cubs lead 6-1. At Miller Park. Brewers securing the series win yesterday. Well, I got some MVP candidates in this series. They have been on display. Javi Baez certainly one of them. Christian Yelich with his 27 homers, his 85 RBIs. Yelich currently 4th in the National League in OPS with a .934 on base plus slugging. Paul Goldschmidt's having a great year with the Diamondbacks. You got Nolan Arenado and his wizardry at 3rd. Also a big year at the plate once again. Got a chance to drive in 100 again. And then Matt Carpenter, who is the National League leader in homers with 35. Those are probably the 5 as we get to the 5th of September. Yelich getting the day off here tonight. Has started every game for the Brewers since the 4th of July.
Yeah, the ending to that book has not been written yet. It's going to come down to the end.
Jesus Aguilar against Jose Quintana.
A lot of baseball left, a lot of impactful games left, and those guys are going to be right in the middle of it.
Christian Yelich is the reigning National League Player of the Week. He's won it twice. See the changes there for the Cubs. And Aguilar with a base hit. Jesus with a clean single to start the 6th inning.
Yep, fastball down, and Aguilar able to get enough of it. Gets it out there in the left field. Yet another leadoff base runner for the Brewers. Has 3 straight innings.
We'll try to chip away at this 5-run deficit. Ryan Braun now has grounded out and walked. Bounced into a fielder's choice back in the 1st inning. Hits that one sharply. That's going to go all the way to the fence. Aguilar will wind it up. Around third, he'll stop there. Braun into second with a double. Well, Braun hit that like a bullet. And now 2 on, second and third with nobody out. The Brewers come right back at Quintana.
Another fastball. All of a sudden, maybe the Brewers thinking about looking for that pitch. Quintana's thrown an awful lot of them tonight. More tonight than any start this year against Milwaukee. A bullet in the center. And down by 5 runs, let's see, they're not going to take any chances sending Aguilar.
Open for a big inning. Not sure Braun can hit a ball harder than that. Perfectly square all the way to the wall. So Braun with his first hit, back-to-back hits to start the 6th, and now it's Jonathan Schoop who has the lone RBI tonight. Schoop won an American League Player of the Week right before he was traded to Milwaukee. Right before that end of July trading deadline. Native of Curacao, Jonathan Schoop. Been an all-star with the Orioles. So a little handle shot out to Murphy. In to score is Aguilar. That'll be an RBI for Schoop, his 2nd of the game. Braun advances to third base. The Brewers trail 6-2 now.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, if we're going to make it out, that's the way to do it. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, ground ball to the right side. And you're driving a run, you get another man to third base. They're joking around, folks. They're not upset. Oh, it looked upset, didn't it?
Just inspiring each other in their own unusual way. There's Mike Moustakas now. And that's a liner to third, right to Bryant for the out. 2nd out of the inning. Frustrating night for Mike Moustakas.
Yep, right in his tracks. Bryant didn't even have to move.
Moustakas has left 4 on tonight. Getting a chance to start for the first time in this series. All these left-handers, Counsell has had to make some tough decisions on who to play. He's got some big power from the left side. Moustakas and Shaw. Kratz chases one out of the zone.
Yeah, 3 straight left-handers in this series, and the Brewers are going to face 2 lefties in a 3-game series against the Giants, including Madison Bumgarner.
Kratz trying to pick up another run here. The Brewers down 4. Erik Kratz has plenty of pop. We'd love to run into one in a spot like this. Up and in. Kratz was hit by a pitch his last time up. And a curveball strike. Good one.
Right at the bottom of the strike zone, Kratz asking Jerry Meals. That's normally where Quintana puts the curveball, but he's been leaving a lot of them up. The ones that he's thrown, it's been a lot of fastballs tonight. Surprisingly, but it's been working.
Two and two to Kratz, runner at third. And a little chopper foul. Brewers have done a good job manufacturing runs in this series. Have yet to homer in this series. Scored 11 runs last night on 11 hits. 2-2 to Kratz. A little roller to short. Baez will wind it up, and Kratz is retired. The Brewers get one. 6-2 Cubs. We go to the seventh.
Williams have rejoined the team. They had been optioned to AAA Colorado Springs after the Cincinnati series. They are not available to be activated until this coming Sunday, so they're just here with the team. They'll be doing some bullpen work, playing catch, and again, not able to be activated until Sunday. But Craig Counsell did say that Freddie Peralta likely will not make another start for the Brewers this season. He'll be in the bullpen from here going forward. Freddie, in 14 games, went 6-4 with a 4.4 earned run average. It certainly had a huge impact on this team in his rookie season.
Yeah, no question. I mean, what a year for Freddie Peralta. He'll still factor in the season on some level. Certainly have not seen the last of Freddie Peralta, and that debut of his first major league game in Colorado will go down in the history books.
It's been a great a nice surprise. I don't want to say great success, but it was a nice surprise to see Freddie come up and pitch as effectively, as he did this year.
A 13 strikeout game, the most by a Brewers rookie in franchise history in his first game against the Colorado Rockies. Most strikeouts by a Brewer rookie in his debut. So So you guys like Peralta and Corbin Burnes, Brandon Woodruff, Zach Brown. Future is bright. That starting rotation for the Milwaukee Brewers. They've got a lot of young talent.
Hey, if you think about that start that Freddie made in Colorado, that was supposed to be 1 and out, right? He was so good that the Brewers kind of forced to keep him in that rotation and had a nice season for the big league ball club.
This is invaluable experience for guys like Corbin Burnes to pitch in moments like this. He's going to be counted on heavily. He has great stuff. Cubs have a couple of hits off of him. That home run by Schwarber. Now the lead single here from Ian Happ can only benefit a young player going through a pennant race in the major leagues. Daniel Murphy has 3 hits tonight. He scored twice. He hit a homer in the 4th. Now hitting .321 as a member of the Cubs. Burnes has it, fires to Arcia, and a double play. Boy, Burnes wasting no time. Whizzed that one right by the head of the umpire. Nice catch by Arcia to start a double play. 1-6-3 it goes.
First time they're able to get Murphy out. Corbin Burnes not messing around, throwing one of his better fastballs right at Arcia. Taps the bag and then able to get the double play. Murphy didn't run all that well.
Like a dancer out there at second base. Arcia with the catch and the tap of the bag with his foot. 2 away now, and here is Baez. Well, these are the kind of matchups you love to see here. If you're a Brewer fan, you want to find out where Burnes is in the development phase as Baez waves and misses at a high slider. It's one of those pitches neither player liked that one. Baez upset he swung at that pitch, and Burnes upset where he left it.
That's not a bad spot to leave a fastball to that guy, up around his neck.
1 ball, 1 strike. And a big swing and a miss. There's a curveball from Corbin Burnes.
Yep, just enough movement on it to get it off the bat.
Got him. Powered him up with a fastball. Burnes fired up. Strikes out Baez. Gets a double play as well. 6-2 Cubs.
Old School in Green Bay, if they call the Brewers by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to an April or May Brewers home game next year. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Well, here we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Crowd announced over 37,000 tonight. Brewers down 6-2. Jose Quintana continues on, and here is Arcia, maybe the biggest at bat of the night, with Arcia at the plate in the 4th inning. Addison Russell in the game to play shortstop. That moves Baez to second. Murphy's out. Brewers scored a run in that 4th inning on a bad hop single by Scope. But Quintana left him stranded, had a key strikeout at Moustakas, and then got Arcia on the fly ball out to center field to end the inning.
Brewers have had chances in 2 different innings, the 4th and the 6th. Only 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position tonight. Quintana has been able to get his outs when he's needed them in the last 3 innings.
Madden stretching him out here in the 7th inning. Pitch count's in good shape. And a 4-run lead with which to work. 2-2 to Arcia. Brewers will enjoy an off day tomorrow, and then back to work against the Giants for the weekend, and then a rematch with the Cubs next week at Wrigley, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Chopper to short. Here is Russell. 1 away in the 7th. Miller Lite, what's on tap? Brewers ready to start up the series with the Giants. It'll be Chase Anderson against Derek Holland. The noteworthy starter in that series is Gio Gonzalez, who will make his Brewers debut after being acquired from the Nationals this past weekend. Anderson, Gonzalez, and Davies for Milwaukee. Derek Holland, Chris Stratton, and Madison Bumgarner for the Giants. Bumgarner against Davies Sunday afternoon. That's going to be something to watch.
Yeah.
Davies was excellent in his return from the disabled list.
5 innings. Change up, looked real good. Curveball.
Tyler Saladino will pinch hit for the Brewers.
Amazing, all that time off. I know he made some starts down in the minor leagues, but you know that is what it is. It's not the major leagues, and he really did look good to Zach Davies in that first start on Monday.
So 2 new entries in the month of September into the starting rotation. Davies and Gio Gonzalez. And Peralta and Guerra available in the bullpen now.
I bet Gio Gonzalez can't wait to get an opportunity to pitch.
Yeah, 2 side sessions for Gonzalez. So getting to pitch in the bullpen between starts for his pitching coach and his bullpen coach, getting the Brewers coach's eyes on him. He's hoping for a turnaround this season.
Well, relies on finesse, doesn't throw real hard. Curveball, changeup, commands a fastball pretty well. Let's see what he does on Saturday.
I'm sure the nerves will be flowing, even for a pitcher with as much experience as Gonzalez. Tyler Saladino in a 2-2 count. Fastball misses, not by much. Count goes full.
Tough pitch to take. I don't think he was looking in there, was he?
Top of the order coming up next, Kane. Saladino launched a home run in his first game back in the big leagues on Sunday. Or on Saturday night, I should say, in D.C.
And it was no cheapie. Hanging slider way back and left.
Trying to get on base. The Brewers need base runners here as they turn the lineup over. 3-2 the count on Saladino. On the ground to Bryant. 2 outs. And Joe Madden on his way to the mound will make a pitching change. Going around for the 4th time against the Brewers lineup, and Madden is going to take the ball from his starter. He gave him a great start here tonight. Bounced back after a rough one against the Brewers in August. Jesse Chavez coming in will set him up after this.
Done, but a little unusual the way he went about it today against the Brewers. I mean, it's usually curveballs, changeups, a lot of off-speed pitches, but he attacked the Brewers tonight with a lot of fastballs. Very effective way to go about it after the Brewers hung 5 runs on him in 5 innings at Wrigley Field the last time these two teams hooked up. And he really had the Brewers guessing all night long.
Jesse Chavez has been one of Joe Madden's most effective relievers. And he'll come in here with 2 outs facing Lorenzo Cain. 51st appearance. Chavez was on the mound on Labor Day on this past Monday. The Brewers won that game. Yelich hit the shot to third off Chavez. That walk-off fielder's choice. Chris Bryant went for the double play to try to end the inning and force extra innings. And Yelich was able to beat it out. Ground ball in the hole. Russell, no chance to get Cain. It's an infield hit. Lorenzo leads the league in that category. And there is a base runner with 2 away in the 7th.
And no chance for Russell. Doesn't have near the arm of a Javier Baez. Able to get there, but realized no sense in making the throw. Cain able to beat it.
Counsell is going to call on Curtis Granderson. He'll pinch hit for Hernan Perez. So Granderson, who had a key hit on Monday in the Brewers win, a comeback win Monday afternoon. Had a pinch hit single in that game. Up there with 2 outs.
Yep, led off the 8th inning.
On this Roberto Clemente day, Curtis Granderson, a former Roberto Clemente Award winner. Always been very charitable in his efforts. The Chicago native Curtis Granderson up there with 2 outs, and that one almost hit him. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Another guy that's always had a real good understanding of his strike zone. Big home run years. Good guy to have coming off your bench.
Chavez deals inside, ball 2. Two acquisitions. Jesse Chavez coming from the Rangers July 19th. Granderson just arrived from the Blue Jays this past weekend. Granderson sends one deep to right. That is way back and gone. The Grundy man. A 2-run blast.
Right back in it.
First home run as a Brewer. And just like that, with a lightning bolt, it's 6-4.
Well, Craig Counsell has said that he loves what he has on the bench late in games to come get back into games and maybe win games. And Curtis Granderson's done that a few times in his career.
First home run of the series for the Brewers, and it comes from one of their newest acquisitions. Well, he's got some pop in that bat still.
Yep, on a 2-1 fastball.
6-4 now. Deep into the Cubs bullpen. Now Aguilar a wave and a miss.
2 outs, nobody on, single homer. Brewers right back in it.
Cardinals have hung on to beat the Nationals 7-6. Carlos Martinez got the save in that game. Brewers are a game and a half up on the Cardinals. Those two occupy the 2 wild card positions right now. Granderson's home run as the Brewers within 2. Now Aguilar down the right field line. Hits it hard but foul. Curtis Granderson with his 4th career pinch hit home run. His last 2 pinch hit appearances, delivering 2 hits. If Aguilar can reach, Ryan Braun due next.
There is history there, is there not?
Two to Aguilar. High fly ball to left field. It's going to stay up there for half. And that will retire the side. But the Brewers get 2 big ones back. Pinch hit, 2-run home run. Curtis Granderson. Welcome to Miller Park. His first home run as a Brewer. And it's a 6-4 Cubs lead. 2 outs in the 7th inning. He will remain in the game. Granderson in right field. Tyler Saladino stays in as well. Saladino will take over at shortstop. And the Brewers' other new acquisition, making his Miller Park debut here as a Brewer, Xavier Cedeno is on the mound, the left-hander.
Yeah, good numbers with the White Sox before the Brewers picked him up. 33 appearances out of the bullpen, 284 earned run average. You can see what he's done combined between the Brewers and the White Sox. He last pitched on Sunday against the Nationals, so it's a scoreless 8th inning. That included a strikeout. A lot of cut fastballs from Xavier Cedeno.
Probably on to face Rizzo and Zobrist, you would think. And Rizzo takes a ball.
Got us a ball game.
Yeah, Curtis Granderson has re-energized Miller Park. What a presence to have a guy like that in the clubhouse for this home stretch. Not to mention what he brings to the field. He was with the Dodgers last year in their World Series run.
Greg Count's very encouraged by what he has on the bench each and every night, regardless of there's a right-hander or a left-hander on the mound. Veteran guys coming off the bench able to, get the job done.
Xavier Cedeno got in a game in Washington against the Nationals. First time around here at Miller Park. Talk about being re-energized. Going from the White Sox to the Brewers. Picking up about 18, 19 games in the standings when he arrived.
Right.
These are the kind of hitters that Cedeno is here for, and as Dan Jennings continues to struggle, you figure Cedeno is going to get more and more opportunities against the big lefties that the Brewers will be facing.
It's kind of been his career, situational left-hander. Get the lefties out.
3 balls and a strike, and on the ground out there in the grass is Scope. Cedeno covers and a perfect throw. Rizzo's out. The defensive shift takes a hit away from Anthony Rizzo.
Yeah, hit it like a bullet right by Aguilar, but Jonathan Scope waiting for it. No problem. Good feed over to Cedeno for the out.
Coming into play tonight, the Brewers were second in the National League in defensive runs saved, a defensive metric. Can argue the validity of that metric, but it is a stat with all the shifting. Only the Rays shift more than the Brewers. And they put shifts on often, especially on the pull side, even to right-handed hitters, which a lot of teams do not do. But the Brewers infielders all have enough arm strength to make these throws. A lot of teams don't have second basemen who can make those throws.
And just about every hitter, the Brewers have an exaggerated shift, including a guy like Zobrist, who is very good at hitting the ball all over the diamond. Zobrist far from a pull hitter. And normally when he hits it on the ground, he's going to hit on the pull side. Up in the air, he'll spray it around.
Cedeno trying to keep the Cubs at 6. Brewers just got 2 on a Granderson homer. 6-4 now as we play in the 8th. And Zobrist takes a strike. 1-2 the count. Cedeno is an unorthodox left-hander in that he throws straight over the top.
And basically one cutter after another. Every now and again he'll throw a curveball.
He's come a long way this year. Started his season in AAA with the White Sox. Pitched in 20 games in AAA in Charlotte. was stellar there. White Sox brought him up. He continued to pitch well in Chicago. And then the Brewers acquire him for 2 minor league players.
One of 12 pitchers down in that Brewers bullpen right now. More on the way. Of the 12, 3 of them lefties.
Third appearance as a Brewer, first at home. He's got Zobrist in a 2-2 count. Jam shot, base hit. Ben Zobrist has 3 hits tonight. And remember, Arcia took a hit away from him with a great play in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, another cut fastball. This one up a little bit, in on him. But Zobrist pulls the hands in, just shoots it out into right field. Nope, he's not a pull hitter. Again, but that one was lifted in the air.
And that's going to be the end of the line here for Cedeno. Home run has brought the Brewers back. We play in the 8th inning. The scoreboard right now, the Brewers are a game up on the Cardinals. The Cardinals held off the surging Nationals, had a 6-0 lead in that game and held on to win 7-6. Got the Dodgers, Diamondbacks, Phillies all on the outside of the wild card picture for now. Mets beat the Dodgers today in LA, and the Marlins up in the Phillies 2-1. Well, the Brewers trying to make it a comeback here tonight. Jacob Barnes with a runner at first will take over, facing Chris Bryant in 1 out.
Yeah, Jacob called back up from AAA on August 30th. Tough customer he's got to deal with. First hitter. Barnes pitched Friday against the Nationals. Scoreless inning.
Barnes got out of a mess in his first game back. Got a double play ball in that game on Friday. That was the game that ended in a driving rainstorm. There's Bryant with a base hit to left. Zobrist will stop at second. And here come the Cubs. 2 on with 1 away.
Yep, coming inside with the 4-seamer. And Chris Bryant waiting for it. And didn't get it on the barrel, but able to muscle it in left field. Jacob Barnes has been using that 4-seam fastball a little bit more often right now than he was earlier in the season. And the cut fastball, such a good ground ball pitch when he gets it down.
Could use one here. Albert Almora Jr. at the plate. Into the game for Schwarber. Last inning as Madden tightened up his D. A shot. Moustakas got a double play. First base. Aguilar tags the bag. Bryant got caught off the bag. And Moustakas with the quick reaction. Inning is over. A line shot. Yikes. Moustakas secures the second out at first. And we're headed to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Brewers down a pair.
Home run, but this one, the Cubs scored those runs early in that 4th inning. Top of the order's been tough.
Yeah, their top of the order's been very good. 9 for 16 have scored 5 runs. But you got to like what the Brewers doing. They clawed themselves back in it. The big home run by Granderson puts the 2 runs down at 6-4.
Never say die, that's for sure. Frederick Medical College of Wisconsin postgame show on the way. We'll hear from the skipper, of course. The Brewers making a late rally. Let's see how they wind up, and we'll get you set for the weekend series against the Giants, PA.
All right, thanks a lot, Craig and Augie. There you see Steve Cishek on to pitch for the Cubs. Ryan Braun leads off.
And numbers for Cishek very good, but had his problems on Monday. Some command issues.
Braun on the ground to Addison Russell. Out number 1.
One thing he does well is get ground balls. That sidearm delivery has that natural sink.
Cishek gave up a walk-off home run in Philadelphia last Friday. Asdrubal Cabrera. And then was a little shaky on Monday. Madden took him out for Jesse Chavez at the end of that game. And then Yelich delivered his game-winning fielder's choice. Here is Scope now, and Cishek deals strike 1.
Cishek actually hit 2 batters in that appearance on Monday. Hit 2, walked a batter.
Brewers won in walk-off style Monday afternoon. Won in a blowout last night, 11-1. Trying to fight their way back. They were down 6-1. Scored a run in the bottom of the 6th inning. Jonathan Scope had an RBI ground out in that 6th inning. He's driven in 2 runs of the 4 on the board. Granderson has the other 2 RBIs with the 2-run homer in the 7th. No balls, 2 strikes to Scope. Got him. Tied him up with a fastball. 2 away.
Not a whole lot straight out of the hand of Steve Cishek. Want that fastball up, has a little bit of a run to it coming in on Scope. swings right through it.
And with a full arsenal of relief pitchers to his disposal, Joe Madden will make the change with 2 outs and nobody on. Pitching change at Miller Park. Plate and trying to start up another 2-out rally. New pitcher is Justin Wilson, hard throwing left-hander.
Yeah, scoreless inning against the Phillies 3 days ago. He's got 12 consecutive scoreless outings going. 61st appearance for Wilson, hard throwing left-hander, and a 2.90 ERA.
He has been excellent for the Cubs. He was not available on Monday. Cubs probably could have used him, but he had been worked often in that series against the Phillies over the weekend. So it was a down day for him. They didn't need him yesterday, so Wilson comes to this outing fresh, facing Mike Moustakas. Moustakas 0 for 3 tonight. Had a line out his last time up.
Yep, 95 in on his hands. And no right-hander getting loose down in that Cubs bullpen, even should Moustakas reach. I think Joe Madden wants to try to avoid the guys that Craig Counsell has on his bench, the left-handed hitters.
Yep, that's a great point. Still have Thames available. Shaw, Yelich is there. I'm not sure if Counsell will use Yelich here tonight, but he's there if you need him.
He's done very well against lefties. Christian Yelich, we talked about that all season long. So just because the lefty Wilson's out there does not mean Craig Counsell will not go to Yelich.
Moustakas trying to reach. A base runner means the tying run comes to the plate. Ball 3. Anything to tighten the screws on the Cubs relievers here. They have been a shaky bunch here recently. Brandon Morrow is their closer, and he's been on the disabled list. Talk today that Cubs might not get him back. Moustakas pops it up. Contreras makes a catch to end the inning. Moustakas retired. The inning is over. We head to the ninth. Cubs coming to bat. They lead 6-4. That Curtis Granderson home run has the Brewers in striking distance. They are down 6-4, trailed 6-1 at one point. A 4-run fourth. Brewers have committed 3 errors in this game. You don't win many with 3 errors on the board, but Milwaukee's given themselves a chance. Imperative that Jacob Barnes puts up a 0 here in the 9th. Wilson Contreras will lead off for the Cubs. The 8th inning ended on a line shot to third that turned into a double play. Anybody's guess who will bat in the 9th inning for the Brewers. They are at the bottom of their order. They have plenty of options on the bench. Kratz is scheduled to lead off.
And a lot of options. Left-hander, got a right-hander getting loose for the Cubs down in that bullpen in right field.
Pedro Strop been in that closer's role.
That's what we're going to see. Craig Counsell go to those lefties.
Wave and a miss. Nasty slider from Barnes. 90-mile-an-hour slider. And it's 1-2.
Yep, started a strike, ended up out of the zone.
That much movement with that velocity.
Yeah.
That's why Barnes, even though he's had an up and down year, it's all about command with Barnes, but boy, there is a lot there to love about his arm.
Yeah, it's a spin and the arm angle that gets the break on that pitch. Sometimes we'll overthrow it, it won't do much.
He's got closer stuff. If he can harness it all, you're looking at a potential late game star. 1-2 pitch and a chopper out to short. Saladino for out number 1. Wilson Contreras 1 out of 4 tonight. Had an RBI hit in the 4th. Madden's going to go to his bench now. Tommy La Stella. It's been his best and most oft-used pinch hitter this year. Stella leads the National League in hits off the bench. Brewers put a shift on for La Stella.
And he'll get a start every now and again, but his value is coming off the bench. In games like this, see the big shift.
A shot right back to Barnes. He makes the catch. Quick reaction time by Jacob Barnes. That one stung him a little bit. And Eric Kratz, I think he's going to head out there to check on his pitcher.
Not sure if he got in the glove or what. I think he just kind of trapped it, didn't he?
Looked like he rolled up his arm a bit. May have hit him in the thigh. See if we can tell in the replay here. Yeah, got him on the wrist actually. Kind of rolled up his arm. He secured it for the out. Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah.
In a vulnerable position.
Normally guys that throw hard like Barnes really aren't in position to square themselves up and make a play like that. But you know, Jacob able to catch the liner.
Here is Ian Happ. Takes a strike. 1-2 on Happ.
There's good movement there. See, he didn't really overthrow it. 89 and had real good tilt to it. And late break. Sometimes 89 is better than 91 when you get movement like that.
2 outs, 9th inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Ian Happ. And Burnes deals, and that one is a little bit low. Back to that slider. 2-2 on Happ. Brewers have 6 sweeps this year. It's been a month since their last sweep. Trying to do it with a comeback win tonight. Sweep the Cubs. Happ a swing and a miss. Down he goes. Burnes gets the strikeout. The Brewers with 37 comeback wins this season. 3rd best in the league. Do they have some magic in them tonight? We go to the bottom of the 9th inning, and the Cubs have their closer on the mound. It is not a firm closing job for Pedro Strop. He has been lifted on occasion with the game on the line, but Joe Maddon's going to give him the ball in the 9th inning, and the Brewers are going to roll out a series of pinch hitters to face Strop.
Strop's got 11 saves on the season. Good numbers at 245 earned run average. Picked up his 11th save on Thursday with a perfect 9th inning. And he's going to have to deal with some lefties that Craig Counsell's going to roll out of that dugout.
He figured, well, Shaw's going to get the first at bat. Thames is on deck. And then Christian Yelich could follow. So could have an inning when you need 3 runs with Shaw, Thames, and Yelich. And then back to the top of the order. Shaw looks at a ball down and away. Shaw's only faced Strop once and has a hit off of it. 27 homers on the year, all but one of those coming against right-handed pitchers. Down and in.
Big fastball, throw the slider.
One thing you get with Shaw and Thames, you get good plate discipline. Both comfortable deep in a count. They draw their walks. And certainly both have big power. Shaw takes a ball. 3-0 the count.
Bring that tying run to the plate.
Strop staring in at Jerry Meals, the home plate umpire. Cubs felt they were squeezed on Monday. Shaw at a 3-0 count, and it's ball 4. The tying run will come to the plate just like that.
Yeah, 4 pitches. Last two pretty close.
Sends Madden for a walk. Sends Contreras for a walk.
What a luxury to have these guys coming off your bench in the ninth inning. My goodness.
They're going to pull things back. One more hitter, and now Christian Yelich will be called upon as chance of MVP come raining down. Christian Yelich, pinch hitting, representing the tying run. Did not take batting practice today, but has certainly been hitting in the cage underneath, the indoor cage in the tunnel, preparing for an at-bat. One ball, one strike. Yelich is 0 for 2 against Strop in his career with 2 walks. One swing of the bat. This game could be tied at 6. The reigning National League Player of the Week in Yelich at the plate. 2-1.
Everything pretty firm out of the hand of Pedro Strop. You don't have that big off-speed pitch. And the fastball, the slider. Behind the count to Christian Yelich.
Jim Hickey on his way to the mound. The Cubs pitching coach. Pitching coaches, managers, they do not like making mound visits if they're not making a pitching change. They do not like going to the mound when the fire is burning hot like this.
Right.
So Hickey might have spotted something or just wants to go through the game plan here against Yelich.
Or maybe give Strop a little breather. He's only throwing 1 strike.
Strop is being talked to by every member of the Cubs roster right now. Pitching coach, catcher, first baseman, second baseman, all has something to say to Strop. Brewers fans feeling it. Yelich has big power, especially to center field and left center. And a swing and a smash in the left field, a base hit. Yelich, a single to left.
What's new? That guy.
2 on.
Amazing.
The go-ahead run will come to the plate.
2-1 pitch right down the middle, and Yelich goes right with it. Had a little bit of sink to it. Christian with a line drive in the left.
That swing is a thing of beauty.
Winning run at home plate.
And a man who has a flair for the dramatic. Eric Thames, pinch hitting. 2 on, nobody out. Big swing and a miss by Thames. Chase the breaking ball. It's been a struggle for Thames since coming back from the disabled list. He was out 7 weeks with a thumb injury, had thumb surgery. What a spot. The 0-1. Strike.
Back-to-back sliders. They know how good a fastball hitter Thames is. They start him off with a couple of breaking balls.
The Brewers have 10 walk-offs this year. Thames pops it up. Almora for out number 1. Both runners have to stay put. First out of the inning for Strop. And now back to the top of the order. Lorenzo Cain. Yelich carries the tying run at first. Cain, the winning run at the plate.
Three straight sliders. I should say 3 sliders out of the last 4 pitches. He got Thames on a fastball. Got a little bit more confidence in that breaking pitch than he does with the heater right now.
Cubs have their outfielders backed up near the warning track, trying to cut off the extra base hit. And Stroke the check on Shaw. No doubles defense for Chicago.
Yeah, really deep. I mean, you can't get much deeper than that. Perhaps the Brewers' best base runner at first base. Of course, you could argue that with the guy at the plate.
What a series. Coming right down to the end here. Final game of the set. Brewers a chance to sweep with a comeback. The 1-1. Kane takes low. 2 balls and a strike.
You can see how Kane is able to slow things down. Crowd going crazy. Big spot. He's been there before. Able to stay calm.
Kane is 2 for 5 in his career against Strope. That includes a double. Curtis Granderson is due next. Strope's ready. 2 balls and a strike. Kane, a jam shot, third base. Bryant steps on the bag. Throw to first. Kane beats it out.
And not by much.
Would have ended the game. Kane busting it down the line.
Stroke got in on his hands. Bryant did what he could on the slow roller. He tags the bag, and Lorenzo able to beat it barely at first base, giving Granderson a chance.
That little crow hop, that extra crow hop, allowed Kane to beat it out. Brewers still alive, down to their last out though. Here comes Curtis Granderson, whose 2-run home run in the 7th has brought the Brewers here within 2. 3 for 7 against Strope in his career. That includes 3 walks. There's strike 1. With his first Brewers home run in the 7th. The 1-1. Granderson takes a ball low.
Yeah, good block right there. That would have been huge. That ball got by Contreras.
But notice the tempo of Stroke has really quickened here with 2 outs.
Good block by Contreras.
Aguilar would be next. Granderson, does he have a moment in him? And a swing and a miss. Put a fastball right by him.
A little bit off the outside corner.
And now the Brewers down to their last strike. Two and 2. Granderson, a swing and a miss, and the ball game is over. Pedro Strope strands 2, and the Cubs win the finale of the series 6-4. Makes a winner out of Jose Quintana, who goes to 12-9 for the year. Save number 12 for Strope. Jolie Chacin suffers the loss, goes to 14-6. Whale of a series. Cubs win the finale. The Brewers win the series. And now the Brewers will enjoy an off day and get ready for the San Francisco Giants. Time for Brewers Live. Let's check in with Craig Kishon standing by in Nelly's corner.
All right, B.A., thanks very much. Tough one here for Milwaukee. Boy, they rallied, but they come up short. We'll break this one down here from Craig Counsell, get you set for the Giants coming to town this weekend, and update you on the standings as well. Stay with us.